that Barbie was retiring, so I figured the job position was open. Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I feel like this has really been the summer of way too many eyeshadow palettes coming out. I just haven't really felt super excited with a lot of the new releases coming out, and I think that's mostly just due to everything having been done already multiple times over. But I think nothing's been overdone quite like the rainbow palette. When brands want to come out with a colorful palette, I think the rainbow spectrum is just the biggest cop-out, because apparently James Charles invented the rainbow. But I really just don't get super excited when brands come out with just straight up the rainbow spectrum, because I like seeing colorful palettes that have a little bit more nuance to them, that have more inspiration to their color scheme. That's what I get really excited about. So I had a couple requests to talk about some of my favorite colorful eyeshadow palettes that weren't rainbows. So going off those two requests, I've put together 10-ish colorful palettes that have not a rainbow in sight, that have fun, fresh, beautiful color schemes that aren't just Roy G. Biv. And then as a spin-off to this video, I'm also going to do a video talking about 10 neutral palettes that aren't boring, because I'm passionate about my neutrals but also very picky. So kind of a different video idea for today. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it makes sense.
I have the mind of a mastermind. What's that?
As always, full details of this look should already be on Instagram. You can shop the limited edition Flower Child merch at bonfire.com/store/Julia Mazzucato. And without further ado, let's get colorful. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a turtleneck in the dead of California summer, this happened at the UCLA football game last weekend, so yeah, we're doing turtlenecks for a week. Also, I'd like to formally apologize for my hair in this video. Thank you. I guess I'll just start off with what I'm wearing in my eyes right now as usual. The Lunar has been probably one of my favorite new palettes of summer, and it's kind of weird because I didn't even think I was going to get this one until I saw it in person. First of all, you guys know I am very much a packaging hoe. It's not like a determining factor for me in buying something. I won't buy something that I wasn't interested in just because it has nice packaging.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god.
But I do think it's like an added bonus, and it just makes me a little bit more excited and have a better like sensory experience with using the whole palette. So I really dig the whole like Celestial Bodies blush pink experience. And then just to add to the whole sensory experience, there's a very light strawberry fragrance, but it's not anything too like overwhelming or borderline asthmatic. I use Pink Flash, Strawberry Moon, Ruby Skies, Sweet Dream, and Blue Diamond in today's look. But this is such a beautiful color scheme. Very different take on pinks, I think. I own a lot of like pink themed color palettes, but it's always leaning to the more like mauve-y tone side, and a lot of purples are in there. This is very different. There's a lot of different things you can do with this palette. You can play with the blues, you can play with like the peachy pinks, you can play with like the pure Barbie pinks if you want to. I just feel like the color scheme is very varied. But beyond that, the performance of these shadows is top notch. This pressed pigment here called Pink Flash blended out so beautifully in the crease. This just seamlessly went through the crease. It's my first time ever trying out this particular eyeshadow formula, and I think it's so bomb. Ruby Skies in particular, it looks like this just basic reddish pink shimmer, but it has these tiny little flecks of like blue shifting glitter all throughout. Just looks super reflective and catches the light on the eye in this very special way. So the color scheme in general just makes me very excited about pink shadows again. And yeah, if you're looking for like a fun new take on pinks, I think this is a great way to go. Alright, so I just talked about this palette in my current favorites video, but the Sugar Pill Fun Size Mini Color Palette it's been really growing on me lately, like mold. And now in this video, this is probably the closest you get to a rainbow color scheme, but I still don't think it's like just pure rainbow. What I'm really tired of are these just basic, almost like low effort releases where it's just that like pure secondary and primary colored rainbow that we've seen over and over again. I don't mind like a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple color scheme if there's like something different to it and something fun, and I think this is definitely that, because you do have like a classic pink and a classic red, but everything else is just pure pastel goodness. For example, the blues in here, instead of them just being light blue, you get this like kind of cornflower, almost like lavender blue-ish shade. And then the green, I didn't really own any good matte mint green shadows. Somebody commented on my last video like, you didn't read the ingredients, it's not the same formula as Sugar Pill's regular formula, but I still think it performs beautifully like Sugar Pill's regular formula does. So it might not have the exact same ingredients or the same concentrations of them, but I think that's probably normal because these are pastel shades. They do need to formulate them a bit differently, and they still perform creamily, beautifully pigmented. Personally, really appreciate Sugar Pill coming out with like normal size pan sizes. The average consumer is not gonna go through a huge eyeshadow pan, especially if you are like me and you own more than 5 palettes at a time. I think them coming out with smaller pans was a great way to go. So if you're like me and you like the kind of idea of the Roy G. Biv spectrum, but you don't want just like basic rainbow shades, I think this like pastel version is a very fun way to go. This is a palette that I never run out of inspiration with because the person who created it is pretty much the queen of colorful eyeshadow looks. The Sosu and Kaylee Urban Bible palette. I gotta admit, I don't own a ton of palettes from brands that aren't based in the United States. I'd like to try more palettes from overseas, especially from like Europe and the UK. I think they just have some really fun brands going on there. Like a lot of the other palettes I'm going to mention here, I just think there's a lot of different things you can do with this palette. You can make so many different looks that don't even look like they're from the same palette. So I think the name of this palette itself really sums it up very well. It's called the Urban Bible palette. I think it's just a very urban, grungy toned, deeper palette. I think the matte formula in particular within this palette is the standout for me. I just think these are a very special formula, but the shimmers are also very nice. I know this is a pretty like common type of duochrome shade, but this one I just feel like has something different where it's a little bit deeper and it just has more dimension to the eyes. I also love the shade Myth. Like this is a shade I don't have. Like I own a ton of purple shadows and this one I've never seen anything like it before. It's just yeah, as far as this brand goes, I love the formula of this and I would love to try more from them. Most of their palettes do tend to be on the like very warm tone neutral side, so I don't really see anything else that I'm really wanting to pick up this moment because I'm just trying to focus on things that are exciting to me. But this was such an exciting release to me. Not only did I want to support one of my favorite makeup artists, I just think this palette and the color scheme, so well done. Such a banger. Unruly in particular is such a special shade because it looks like deep reddish burgundy, but it blends out and it gets these like pink edges on the side. So it looks like you blended out like 3 different colors on your eyes when you just use this one. I really want to do a purple eye look now. Damn it, why did I do pink today? To be honest, any of the palettes from Kaleidos could probably have made it into this video because they all have very unique, colorful color schemes that aren't just rainbow centered. But I really want to talk about the Futurism 5 Electro Turquoise one because this is a color scheme I've never seen before. Even last year, which I feel like was the year of people discovering, hey, I haven't really seen any fun, interesting pairings like this. It's just I never would have thought to put like a bright Cheetah orange shade in with turquoises and a silver. I think it just works really well together. Even it's like Tiffany blue here. I mean, it also helps that the matte formula is just kind of ridiculous. But like, oh! Crazy. So I'm very impressed with this one. I think this is probably my favorite color scheme that they've come out with. But to be totally honest, like Astro Pink, also a very fun, colorful color scheme. It's cool toned, it's fun and funky fresh. And then Futurism Neon, it's closer to the rainbow spectrum, but still has bright neon shades in a very interesting layout, and it's not just pure rainbow shades. This was my favorite palette of autumn 2018. The Colourpop Good Sport palette. And yes, there are some neutrals in here, but I think they all have a special tone to them that just takes them from like a neutral palette with a couple pops of color to a very interesting cohesive color scheme. Standout shades in here for me are Ebb and Reckless. Ebb is just this really interesting lime green shade. It's the color of just pure cash money, which is what Colourpop is raking in as they release 100 new things a week. Meanwhile, Reckless, again, it's another one of those just pure burgundy shades, but like, ooh, it just,
oh my god, it's literally so pigmented.
And I find that this level of pigmentation just leads to a very dense, I don't know, like deep.
With a mind of a master.
Anyways, I think that this is Colourpop's best ever 12-pan palette. I know that they're not going to stop coming out with new things anytime soon because you gotta think, like, people have been asking them to stop for so long, but they don't. And brands, at the end of the day, they care about what makes them money. So even though, like, social media is annoyed with Colourpop, they're gonna keep releasing things because that's what makes them money. This business model must be making them a lot more money than if they just listen to customers because, hey, that's okay. I'm fine not buying anything else from them. I just want to focus on things that I love from their brand, and this is one of those things. The next palette I have was from Moira Cosmetics, and I did review this little line of like 10-pan mini palettes that they came out with, which I thought was a great move from them. I love seeing them come out with not like Morphe level size palettes. But I think I reviewed these in a month where I was reviewing a bunch of other eyeshadow palettes. This just kind of got lost in the shuffle. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Felix Hart because it was my personal favorite of the 3 smaller palettes that they came out with. Very interesting to me. It kind of scared me off at first because I was like, I don't know what to do. My brain cannot compute. If you kind of just go with proximity and what's laid out with what, I think you can create some very fun looks. So these 3 shades right here, Hot Fire Eyes, or you can do these 3 shades here. Another beautiful look. You got 2 like Kelly greens, which personally I hate on myself, but hey, whatever. And you have a like deep, rich kind of chocolate reddish brown to throw with anything else. If you follow my Twitter, you probably know that I've just not been on the bigger palette train lately. I've just been so done with palettes, more than 20 shades at the most. That's the reason I'm not picking up the new Colourpop So Jaded palette with Caffeine Nights. I just think beautiful as that packaging is and the color scheme, very nice. It's just too many eyeshadows and I just don't want to bother with it. These smaller palettes with better, more curated color schemes I think are just more fun to use and less stressful, if that makes sense. Plus, I mean, it does help that these are really good. Like, ooh. Now we can't talk about inspiring non-rainbow color schemes without plugging my Heavenly Sweet Sweet Child. I'll defend her forever. Subculture's color scheme just holds a special place in my heart. And you know what, the formula, I kind of vibe with it. Especially with these like darker green, bluish shades over here. Axis is probably my favorite shade in the palette. The almost overzealous pigmentation of these just gives them such a special quality on the eyes. They just look so, again, rich and ooh. And even if you don't want to bother with the formula, which I think is part of the reason I love this so much, is the crazy pigmentation of these shades. I don't mind if they're a little bit more difficult to blend out. That's just darker shades in general. If you don't want to mess with the formula and you just want the beautiful color scheme, there are so many dupes out there for Subculture that have different formulas that you will probably love. I just think that the color scheme itself is very special. And just how modern Renaissance changed the game, I think Subculture changed the Colorful Eyeshadow Palettes game, where everything before this that was colorful was pretty much just like a rainbow spectrum. And so yeah, you will see quite a few Subculture looks from me this fall. Melt Smoke Sessions for me is another palette that I think has kind of been slightly forgotten. Like, don't get me wrong, Melt has so much clout, but I feel like everyone talks about the Gemini palette or the stacks. And Smoke Sessions, I feel like it came out, people were either in love with or completely enraged by the weed on the cover. Or like a few reviews of it, some tutorials, and then like gone. But this I feel like is again something just special in my collection. It brings something I didn't have, where these like minty shimmery shades, these deep green mattes. I remember when Gemini first came out and they were doing the shade by shade reveal on Instagram. Everyone was super excited because they sneak peeked all the green shades first, and then when they started showing brown shades, people were like, oh my god, we just wanted a plain green palette. And then this came out, it's pretty much all greens, and I feel like each color in here is so fun to use on its own or with the rest of the palettes. I like this palette. I know that not a lot of people do, but I think the formula is great and the color scheme is beautiful. Alright, I had to mention these, the Colourpop monochromatic palettes. I just think it's funny that I'm mentioning them in this video because Colourpop has actively avoided coming out with a 9-pan rainbow palette. Like, I don't want this. Whatever. I've been mad about this for a long time. I need to stop. I think the monochromatic palettes were the last very fun and inspiring line that Colourpop has come out with in a long time. And I picked my favorite two to show you guys because I personally think that these two are the most inspiring. It's my pleasure. All purples, absolutely beautiful, insane quality. It is, however, pretty much a direct dupe of the already existing Amethyst Obsessions by Huda Beauty, so not the most original from them, but the Honey palette. This has been one of my favorite palettes of summer. Best yellow eyeshadows I have in my collection. Probably hands down. I like this palette a lot because they managed to do an entirely yellow color scheme without the shades being like super repetitive. The only shades I think are kind of similar would be these two yellows here, Sweet Spot and Oh Behave. The main thing I love about these palettes is that every single shade in them has a purpose and feels like it's needed. These are a lot more like mindfully put together, whereas I think rainbow palettes is just like, okay, yeah, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Easy. It takes a lot more effort to kind of put together this type of color scheme, and I can appreciate that. So I really love these ones. Formula's banging, color scheme is amazing. God tier. And last but not least, I think Huda Beauty's Neon Obsessions palettes were a very fun, interesting release. Maybe not the most well received in terms of formula, like it seems I'm the only person who likes the Neon Green Obsessions palettes, but I think the color schemes of the 3 Neon Obsessions palettes she came out with are very fun and very unique. I personally love that these are very shimmer heavy. I think Huda's shimmer formula bounds better than her matte formula. Not to say her matte formula is awful, but I do think that shimmers are just worth the money, worth paying a little bit extra for, whereas the mattes are just like, yeah, they're fine. Colourpop does better mattes in my opinion, but I think Huda does duochromes very well. I just think that they're lovely and again, very inspiring. So just as an example, this shade here looks so nondescript on camera, but on the eyes it translates to like every different color ever. It's like, it's blue, it's green, it's pink, it's beige, it's got a little bit of purple in there. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video talking about some of my favorite colorful eyeshadow palettes that are not rainbow. I hope you guys will tune in for the 10 neutral palettes that are not boring. But regardless, thank you for watching today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below. Follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this, posted recurrently because I'm trying to shoot a bunch of things before I leave for college. Check out the merch if you are so inclined to support your local Dewey College student, and if you made it to the very end of this video. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you unique color schemes, you get the bonus meme. Love you. Bye.
Depression meal check. What the fuck is this?